So even though I've got us on, this map here, we're actually gonna start a little bit in the past before the game starts with Duck. So your backstory, as I recall, was essentially along the lines like you were a shift guard, or you were someone who worked as a guard and did that sort of work,
Yeah.
and you worked on a ship that went to Sin, and then something weird happened there that you don't fully understand. But you know that there was essentially, as far as you could tell, like a copy of you was made, and you saw them like leaving out into the world, something to that effect, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay, would you like to add any detail to that or anything right now?
Not right now. I
Okay.
will take another look at it at some point or another.
Okay. So then essentially what I'm going to do is I would like to try and spin a little bit of a tale of how I see this having gone, and then how you got to where you're at the start of the game, where you will meet with Kaz's character. We'll do a little bit of background stuff for him, and then once we've established all of that, we will go and you guys will do the investigation that you are kind of here to try and figure out what's going on, which will result in us running into character the third. So we're gonna start with Duck's character, though, which I believe Rain is the name. Is that how you were wanting
Yes.
it pronounced?
Ryan.
Okay. It's Ryan time.
That's Ryan time. No, I'll go Rain.
Yeah, for that exact reason. For that exact reason, we should do Rain, because otherwise I'm gonna make that joke once a stream, at least. Okay, so I guess one thing I would want to know from you is, in your mind, like, how old roughly is your character? Or, like, how long had you been out and about doing stuff? Like,
Ooh, my
notably,
character.
I one thing that I had been thinking was that part of this experience has left you weakened. So, like, if you were someone who was working regularly as a guard before, I figure you probably would have, been higher than level 1. And so whatever happened has left you in a weakened state, if
Yeah,
that, makes sense to you.
makes sense. Well,
Like,
because
I'm
I'm
not
thinking is
necessarily saying you were like some level 10 god, but like, like maybe like a level 3 guy who, could reasonably handle, like small scale combats on his own, kind
I
of
would say
thing.
at least like about 20 years or so.
Okay. Yeah, let's say you were roughly like level 4 then. I think that's pretty reasonable.
Okay, but this is
Like, I'm
range.
pretty sure I'm pretty sure someone who's level 4 would be able to take like two of those robots that we used as the first boss of the last game at once pretty easily. So like, and considering that was used as a boss for 4 characters, it wasn't necessarily the most threatening, but still, I think that's a pretty reasonable metric. Like, you could probably go toe to toe with like a couple of decently threatening enemies on your
Yeah.
own.
Okay.
So yeah, so you had been probably, I imagine, sort of just traveling around the archipelago, kind of like taking jobs and fulfilling them, and then, hey, let's see what I can do from where I'm at, kind of thing. Or was there anywhere that you tended to like go back to a lot, or like had a home at, or anything like that?
Um, I think my original thought for the character that he was a god in Sin, so I didn't really think up there anything for like the for like where we would go back to. But I think this change to a ship god probably makes more sense for like the aspect, like for the
Well,
the
not
area
necessarily.
that we're
Like,
going
I'm
to.
not necessarily saying you were specifically a ship guard, but maybe like a mercenary kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, I
it,
would do
it
so.
is more what I'm getting at. So like,
Okay. God
like
for hire.
guarding the ship was your job this time, but that's not necessarily
Yeah.
what you always did.
No. Uh, Let me
And
just
the answer
double
can be
check.
no. He can just be a full-on drifter. Like that's perfectly valid. That's honestly, I guess, to an extent, kind of what I assumed. I just wanted to
No, there was.
figure out if you had anything different in mind.
Give me a second. 'Cause there was another place where I was thinking about at the time.
Okay.
Um, think I was thinking about because I was also going with Murder Princess in the first place. So I was thinking about the Land of Bones and Badlands.
Oh, sure.
Digi
I think that's
Australia.
where Kaz's character from the other game was from.
So like a mercenary who came from the Badlands, but now is now kind of like guarding ships, using his experience in dangerous situations.
Yeah, it works. All right. So you had been, I would say you'd been doing that sort of stuff for, quite a while, like you said, roughly 20 years or so. You'd been out and about and wandering and working. So you had at least, a little bit of a reputation, a little bit of renown, and you were approached one day by a someone who was, the representative of a company based on neon, and they needed somebody to guard a shipment that they were taking to somewhere that's pretty dangerous. And they were cagey on the details at first, but kind of gave you enough of an implication to figure out, what they meant and where they were going and why other folks were fairly nervous to join. But you having been around long enough, and I would say at this point probably not having been there before, there was, I would imagine, a little bit of a curiosity about, like,
Oh yeah.
it's probably not that bad. And, like, they're representatives of a company, like, they're probably like, it's probably not going to be anything too terrible is going to happen. Yeah, I'll do it. And the pay was pretty good. They were offering a fair sum, more than a fair sum in your estimation. So that job, you felt overall, as far as you can remember, you feel like it went off more or less without a hitch. But your memories get really foggy right around the time the ship pulled into port. Like, you don't have clear memories of what happened after you got off the ship, or like what the island was actually like, but you know that you were there and that you were like doing stuff for at least a few days. But then the next clear memory that you have is actually you sitting in the port on the dock as the ship that you came in on and were guarding is pulling out, and you see yourself standing on the prow of the ship, and like looking around and keeping guard, and you like lock eyes with yourself, and then you passed out again, and somebody woke you up a little while later, thankfully not rummaging through your pockets or trying to put a shank in your side. um and they sort of helped you wake back up, get to your senses. They, you know, weren't able to really help you figure out anything about what had gone on, but you did remember, like, okay, the name of the company was Biomancer Mods, and they were based off of Neon. So, you can't really stay here, especially because you have not been feeling great since you woke up, and you don't really want to get into a fight with the kinds of people who call this place home right now until you've recovered a bit. So you manage to basically stow away on an outgoing ship a couple of days later, and after a little bit of extra traveling, you make it to Neon. Roughly, you think a week after you first like saw yourself sailing away.
Can't believe I
Does
got got
that
by the
all
Biomancer.
does that all work for you?
Works for me.
All right. Is
So
there
I
anything you
lost
would?
So I lost an aura check against myself, and then I'm going to get revenge against the Biomancer. Got it.
Maybe. I mean, you don't really know what happened. You don't even necessarily have any reason to suspect foul play from Biomancer. Like, you weren't injured or anything. Like, you haven't found any symptoms of having been like tampered with, and like there's no, like, they're a mod tech company and there's no like mod tech, plastered onto you anywhere or anything. So like you're really not sure it kind of feels like you went on like a drunken blackout for a few days and then woke up to see a clone of yourself is kind of how it feels. But you saw that clone sailing away on the same ship he came in on, which was charted by Biomancer and owned by them. So they're your best lead. You may choose to get revenge on them. Like if that ends up being your animus, but I'm just saying you don't immediately like, suspect that they did something to you in particular, but it
I'm
is
gonna kill
possible. Oh, this is going to be a very different vibe than the other game.
you. Well, I guess the first order of operation here is to find a way off the off Sin.
Oh no, like I said, so you like I said, you stowed away on a ship a
Oh yeah,
couple days later, and then you were able to make it to Neon. And then basically what I would say is like after you landed on Neon, you wandered around. And so you would have also realized that while you didn't come to any like physical harm or anything, you seemed to be lacking the majority of your possessions when you woke up. Like you don't really have any like you have like a handful of coins that were not on you when you got up. Like you were able to scrounge them over the couple of days that you were still there on Sin. You have like your sword because you can summon that, and you have a bow and a bag, but you don't really have any of your other equipment or food or notably your money that you should
and I
have
feel
had.
strangely weak. I can't. It's almost like I lost multiple levels.
Yeah, I mean, you would actually, I mean, I think because of the way that I've set the world up, honestly, you would probably know that you have lost levels. Like, I think
It just comes up.
that's a quantifiable piece of information in the setting, I do believe. So, like, you would be able to confirm, like, yeah, you are level 1, and it's been a while since that was the case.
Someone stole my free levels.
And so then as you would be sort of wandering around on Neon trying to get some information, figure out anything about the company or, a lead to investigate, you would end up getting overheard at some point by Gavril, who would be down on the lower layers, probably exchanging some of the stuff that he had scavenged up for a little bit of cash to, get some new change of clothes or some food or whatever it would happen to be. Um, and then that would lead to the two of you talking a bit. But so before we do that, let's go over to Kaz, i.e. Gavril. So your backstory, as I recall, was basically you were a resident of Neon, and you were basically a street kid for a substantial amount of time who sort of like did a lot of like skulking around the city and exploration and like scavenging to get by. Is that more or less right?
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Okay. Was there anything else that I had forgotten about or that you wanted to add to that?
Um, no,
Also, how
you
old do you think Gavril is?
um uh he'll be about um like uh in his late 30s.
Late 30s.
I
Oh, okay.
think.
That's older than I thought. All right.
Okay.
All right. That works.
As the
So,
GM
uh,
typed some things in the background.
oh, you sending me a message? Do I need to
No.
be checking?
You're good.
Okay. So Gavril is a resident of Neon. He's been here for most, if not all, of his life. And do you think would you say overall that he likes it here, Kaz, that he's fairly comfortable, or is he kind of, wanting to shake things up and do something different?
Yeah, he's pretty comfortable.
Okay. I
Yeah.
think that makes sense. So Gavril is a longtime resident of Neon, and for the last few years, he's actually had he's had his own place in Container Town on Layer 6 of Neon, which kind of for him has a little bit of everything. It's somewhere that he was able to actually get his own place. Admittedly, it's not that big. It is a converted shipping container, but it's his and he doesn't have to share it with anybody. This is a layer that is consistently used for storage by a lot of different businesses within the or that are centered on the island, and also by residents both of the island and other areas in the archipelago. So there's always some neat stuff to find. He's okay. Would you consider Gavril to be a lawbreaker or a rule breaker at all? Like, would he ever like break into a storage unit to help himself to the goodies, or would he just stick to stuff that's been like abandoned or that he can easily access and that kind of thing?
Well, one of my purviews is chicanery and general mischief. So, yeah,
Yeah, but
he is.
that makes me feel like it's more good-natured, right? Like mischief is
Okay.
like, like, oh, he's a merry prankster as opposed to like crime. Like I wouldn't
Well,
I
yeah.
wouldn't accuse a criminal of mischief, like in my mind.
Well, yeah, that's what I would be like. I wouldn't break the law, but I would like push the boundaries of it.
Yeah, okay.
Of
So that
being,
I like that. So yeah,
yeah.
so there's always a lot of stuff for him to find. Like, you can always chat with some people and listen to rumors and find out, oh yeah, somebody discovered a warehouse that they don't think's been opened in like 50 years. There's some cool shit in there. You should go check it out and that kind of thing. Um Container Town
Yeah.
itself is right on the edge of the territory of one of the two gangs that doesn't necessarily have control of the level, but has, control of their own territory and have a very substantial presence on the level. Most neon gangs, only really are present on a single layer of the city. There are a couple that are big enough that they have a presence on multiple layers, but neither of these is the case. But so, Container Town being right on the edge of the Wire's territory both means that it's a pretty safe portion of town because people don't want to start shit right on the doorstep of one of the gangs, but also you're not really overseen by them per se because you're outside of their territory. And Gavril is, he's been around long enough and honed his skills well enough that he's pretty hard to spot, pretty hard to track down, blends into a crowd well, and he knows where it is and isn't safe to stick his nose. So he usually keeps out of the Wire's territory, and he's also, not going to go over to the other side of the lair to start shit in the Heat territory either, because as opposed to the Wires, who are a little bit more chill, the Heat are known to occasionally cause trouble. They like a good fight. Usually, nothing terribly dangerous or overboard, but they will, if you give them an excuse to throw hands, they will happily take it or attempt to manufacture one. So by mostly knowing where it is and isn't safe to scavenge and honing his skills, he's managed to live a pretty comfortable life and have his own place. And you know what? Actually, I was just gonna just do this later, but since we're talking about it, let's come over. So this is Gavril's container, his home.
Okay.
So he's got and we can rearrange this stuff, any way you like. I just put in a configuration that I thought, made sense for someone living there. So he's got a medium-sized fridge in the corner, which is actually kind of a big deal. A lot of people, especially in Container Town, make do with mini fridges. So he was really happy when he found a working fridge that was a decent size. He's got a table and a couple of stools, and that table serves a lot of purposes. It's a cooking surface, it's a place to eat at, it's a place to play cards with folks. It's where he does his laundry and upkeeps his gear and all that fun stuff. The orange ones are too small to label, but those are lamps, so that's how you actually have a decent amount of light in your home. A dresser in which he keeps the majority of his earthly possessions, including his clothing. A couch
Where
that does have a fold-out hide-a-bed on which to sleep at night, and a little metal table that's in pretty good condition. It's got a couple scratches and one big dent on the side, but the top of it is nice and smooth and polished. A pretty decent sized flat screen TV on its own stand. Some shelves on which he has some books or movies or whatever you think that he would have for recreation. A couple more lamps, and then the door would just basically be the whole bottom side. There's like a shutter that you bring down like a garage door when you want to close it.
okay.
So that's Gavril's home.
What a
But
house.
so he like I said, he mostly gets by exploring and scavenging in the city, and then either taking stuff back to his place, like the fridge and the TV and all that, or bringing it either to the little commercial zone that's here, or more frequently going to another level and selling gear there and exchanging it for whatever else you might need, like I said, food, clothes, etc. So it would be on one of these days that you were out, you had just wrapped up selling some stuff, you had probably a couple bags of groceries and a little bit of pocket money left over. Let's say I'm going to just throw on your sheet here, I'm going to give you like, I think it's stones, then coins, then gems, I think. So I'm going to say 10 coins. That's just, what you had left over. And
Okay.
you overhear somebody, like you're walking past a cyberware or a mod tech shop on layer 3, and you hear somebody asking about Biomancer, and if they know where the office is located, or who he could get into contact with, or anything like that. And you kind of stop and think about it because that sounds familiar. And you remember a storage unit in a relatively large building in the business storage zone, that they had a floor that was bought, or not bought, but being used by Biomancer, and you never actually found anything useful there. But it's actually, people have broken through the windows and a couple of the walls and use it as a convenient pass through on the roofs of a couple of nearby buildings, because that particular one is several stories taller than the ones nearby. So they just sort of broke the windows, put some planks across, and that's how people traverse around the skyline. But so it like hearing someone asking about Biomancer and the person they're talking to is like, nah, look, I don't know. We don't even stock their stuff here. That's like too expensive high end hardware for anyone that we cater to. You kind of think, huh, maybe I could help this guy out, and maybe they're, maybe he could throw a little bit of cash my way or something, or we can come to some sort of an agreement. So, what would I would say just let's go ahead and start the conversation. So, I would say Gavril would walk up, and how would he introduce himself and let this guy know, like, hey, I might be able to help you out.
Um, hey, I um, hey, do you need a hand? I I could give you a hand with.
Do you know about Biomancer?
Hmm. I I don't I don't know about that too much.
Okay. Do you know something about Biomancer? Anything at all?
Um. No, that's unfamiliar to me.
Okay. I do need a help in finding something about Biomancer.
Oh well, I know this town pretty good. I can just go around and uh try to like um go sneaking around and eavesdrop on people and see if I can find some information for you.
That would be very useful. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting approach. So, are you gonna what's the plan then? Are you gonna like let some time pass and then come back to him and be like, "Oh, I just figured out where this thing is," or what's what's your plan?
Oh, we'll yeah, I'll let some yeah, I'll let some time pass and oh yeah, I just remembered. Um well sorry, out of character. I don't remember what you said.
Oh,
Um yeah.
just you know where there is a storage unit that is owned by Biomancer. You know where one is, and that it has some weird stuff in it that you had never like accessed before. And also, but otherwise, like nothing useful that you could ever scavenge. But like you do know where one of their storage units is, and the guy that he was talking to told him they didn't know anything. So you were like, your thought would essentially be that you could potentially like bring him to the storage unit and see if he could, figure out what he wanted to know there.
Okay. So yeah, I'll tell him that there's the there's this other storage unit over, and
And here,
it
I actually do have a thing here. Let me So it is located here. You should now see a. Actually, that red is not a good color on this green. Let me change that to
Oh,
something else.
in
Christmas
the
day.
Like, there we go.
in the ba-
So on the far left edge of the business storage zone, you should now see an X. That's approximately where the where this specific storage unit is at.
okay. Yeah. So yeah, I'll lead you to that area where I saw the storage unit.
That'd be very helpful. Thank you. Do you
Gabriel
have a
is
name?
Gabriel is my name.
I'm Rain.
Oh, nice to meet you, Rain.
All
Yeah,
right.
That I go
So
Cassius.
then he will Gavril will lead Rain up to the central elevator. So the central elevator is present directly in the center of the island, or as close as I could approximate it to. And it goes, it is the central thing that connects every layer of the island. Everyone, no matter which level they're going to, is going to be hopping on the central elevator. So it is, you can kind of think of it as like the main public transit system on the island.
Man,
Although,
that
you
place
know,
must get cramped all the time.
well, so, scale wise, like this map is the size of a large island. So like
Oh,
that
okay.
that central elevator is
It's probably like
probably
10 or 8 elevators in one or something like that.
oh, I mean, I would say it's probably at least a couple thousand feet on a side, if not
Okay.
more.
Okay. Understood.
Like I'm really bad at scale off the cuff, but I mean it's kind of like having like a small like container ship kind of thing,
Mhm.
because like it's used to transport people, it's used to transport goods, it's constantly going up and down. um and so it's pretty damn big. I mean, I guess it would be broken into a couple so that it's not like always just. Actually, no. Maybe actually I kind of like the vibe a little bit more if it's just like on a consistent schedule. It's like it goes up and then it goes down and then it goes up, and it's just at a perfectly even interval at all times. It's like it takes 5 minutes to get to the next floor. It stays there for 5 minutes, then it goes, and it just so it's perfectly predictable. But if you happen to be, at the far end and it's going the opposite direction, you're gonna have to wait like an hour.
okay.
But yeah, so Gavril will lead you over to the central elevator. And I guess do you think that Rain would have spent any time, small or significant, on Neon before, other than just like taking this job?
I think that he probably would have taken other jobs here, towards this area, but I don't think he spent much time actually being here, other than being bodyguard or something like that.
That makes sense. Okay, so you've probably never been to this particular layer. You've probably ridden the elevator a couple times, so it wouldn't be anything new to you. And then once you guys get up there, you do have to. So one thing that Gavril will let you know is that you're gonna have to pretty much like urban explore your way up several stories to get to where you're actually going. So I'm gonna need both of you guys to do. You can do either deftness or might, depending on if you're trying to, like nimbly climb stuff, or if you're sort of just using your brute strength to be like, yeah, no, I got this.
What do
But
you
because this is a path that Gavril knows like very well, You guys will get, and because there's also, like I said, there's like boards and stuff that go across rooftops, and there's signage and things that indicate where to go. So you'll get uh, a minor bonus is +2. Is a major bonus +4 then? And still not, perfect at remembering exactly how the system works. Apologies. Need to find where
Okay.
major bonuses are. Is that no? All right, fuck it. I'm just gonna control F. Okay, yeah,
+4,
major
yes.
bonus is +4. So yeah, so do either might or deftness with a major bonus. So just roll a d20, and I think it's below your score, right? So
Uh-oh.
okay. So
Oh.
so it's
Ta-da!
-4 functionally, I think is how it would be more accurately represented,
Oh,
Yes.
Duck. So you get a 4,
I
so
win.
you're doing great. Gavril gets a 13, so he's actually having a little bit more trouble with it than he usually would. Um, which actually I think I'm going to interpret that kind of the opposite of how you would typically expect, where it's not like he's having trouble going at it. It's he's so comfortable and used to traversing the rooftops and going in and out of these buildings that he's kind of just strolling, and he has somewhat forgotten that he's supposed to be
Yeah.
leading you. And so
But
that 4 is you working really hard to properly keep up with him, because he has kind of just like got like tuned out a little bit and forgot, like he was like, I know where I'm going, but he's sort of forgotten why.
yeah, I know where I'm going for just myself.
Are you sure
Yeah.
this is the right direction?
Oh yeah, I've been to these places 1,000 times.
But yeah, so you are able to safely make it over the rooftops, and then have I got tokens on this page already? I should check that before I bring you over. Yes. Oh, except one of those should not be there yet. Okay. So you find yourself in the Biomancer Mods warehouse, which is pretty busted up. And actually, Gavril does realize it's been like probably a month or two since the last time he passed through this chunk of storage units, and it wasn't this busted up at that time as far as he remembers. So you see there's a lot, like the window that you guys just came through was already busted and the plank was there, and the wall over here was also broken so people could go through. And, all of these boxes were also empty and strewn about, but that wall at the north side wasn't busted, and there wasn't all this debris on the floor and whatever that is by the capsules behind the wall. But
Well,
this is the unit.
This place does look pretty busted up.
this place is really unkept, even for me. And I'm a street rat.
Um,
I'm going
but
to
so,
prematurely create my Raph's blade in my hand.
okay, that makes sense. Caution and all that.
Of course.
If you guys want to try and like explore around the room or anything, you can either do like an insight as sort of like a perception check analog, or if there's anything that you want to ask about first, you can just let me know. We're not in like combat or turn order or anything like that right now, so you can kind of just move around, but let me know what you're doing.
Can I quickly scan the room? Would just be an insight check.
Yeah, that would be an insight check.
Hey,
I'm pretty sure that's a solid success. Yeah. So you notice all of the things that that Gavril pointed out, the debris and the boxes. And so this wall here, you can already tell, like, without having approached it yet, this is a plasteel wall, and there's a whole chunk of it. I mean, I've got it, I've got it with nice clean edges, but realistically, it's actually just been like broken. Like, it looks like somebody just kind of punched it, and it like a whole chunk just sort of like blew out of it and shattered. You don't really know, like, it doesn't look like there was a specific directionality to it as far as you can tell, so you're not sure if something, broke out or broke in. But there are 4 capsules in the back that you don't know why, but they feel vaguely familiar, or something like them feels vaguely familiar. Um, 3 of them look to be open and empty, and one of them seems to still be intact. Um, Otherwise, and that's most of what you would glean just from like where you're standing, scanning around.
I'm going to approach the opening while remaining cautious, I guess. I can't
You
move my
got
token
control,
back
right?
now. No.
I gave Kaz control of your token, not you. Let me fix that.
I'm not in control of my
I
body.
also gave
Feels like
Kaz
someone's
control of
hearing
his
me.
token. So, okay, Ebik has his token. It was just you. Yours
It
was the
was.
only one I messed up, but I probably have messed that up on a couple other sheets, so give me a second to fix that. Yep, sure did. The fact that you guys are right next to each other on the list of like people what to give control to probably means I just like didn't move my mouse quite down far enough, and I thought I did.
Oops. Uh, Also, just to ask, by the way, the previous check I just did, would that have fallen under my purview? Because I've got something what hides
I
in the
would.
darkness, and that sounds like, scanning a room to see what's in here would fall under something like that.
Okay, in that case, I will actually give you a bonus piece of information. Because yes, I think you're correct, and there is something that I think falls under that umbrella.
I always
Is
said.
you, you don't know what it is, but you believe that there is like something underneath the stack of boxes over here. Like you're pretty sure this one, the one that's, let's just say to the north of you, is just a bunch of empty boxes, but it looks like these ones that are, right in front of you look like they were piled on top of something.
Okay, I don't know
I'm
about the rest
going.
of you, but I'm not seeing you point to anything if you're doing anything.
Oh, you're not?
I'm not.
Oh shit, how do I that's probably like a new setting because
Are
they've
you
changed a lot. Oh,
broadcasting
I
to
can
others?
place a pin. I can place a pin.
Are you broadcasting the measure thing to others? Or like
Yeah,
It was a ping, wasn't it?
I wasn't using measure either. I'm just doing the ping. Do you see the pin that I just put here? Is that present?
I
Oh, you
actually can't
can
see the
you
ping.
can you can like put stuff on. Oh, it's hidden. Ha ha
I can
ha.
see
Oh,
me doing
cool.
this, but
Okay.
I can't do that.
Oh,
Here, let
wait,
me
hold on.
refresh to
Okay,
maybe
this is
see.
this is kind of cool actually. Um,
Let me refresh. Maybe it's something to do with Roll20, as always.
I mean, yeah, like Roll20 is for.
Okay, now I see the
Okay,
pin. Yes.
yeah. Okay, I actually really like this. I didn't know that that was a thing they had added. I I will give Roll20 credit. That is a feature that I really, really enjoy.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I'm
But as with
going.
Roll20, sometimes it doesn't work.
I'm going to approach the boxes and start trying to move them with my sword. Still being cautious.
They are cardboard boxes, and they yield rather effortlessly to your blade.
I was going to ask, but yes.
Do you have a specific goal? Are you just like poking through them? Are you trying to sift them to the side?
I'm just going to try and move them around just to see what I could what I could see from the entrance.
Okay. I'm gonna move boxes one at a time, and you tell me when to stop.
Oh
I have now
boy.
lost interest. I'm going up here. No, I'm kidding.
And at this point,
Oh.
you see enough of it that Gavril's like, "Oh, that's a corporate security bot. I've seen those before. They're pretty common here. It looks
Wait.
pretty beat up though. Like if Gavril had to guess, somebody probably like trashed that thing when they broke in here and broke through the wall, and then they hid it underneath the boxes to, hopefully not get caught or what have you.
Hmm. Is it
You can keep
completely
you can
inert?
keep digging it out if you wanna investigate more, but
I think we know what it is now, so I'm going to stop doing that. But
all
can
right.
we tell if it's completely inert or not?
That would be probably also insight, but I need to double check what all of the skills are defined as doing.
Yeah, we can do background for that.
Let's see. Playing the game. Here we go. Checks and contests. All right. Insight, quick thinking, observation, comprehension, auras, commanding presence, grit is determination, resilience. Yeah, I mean, I guess it would just be insight again. Do either of you have anything that's relevant to like machinery or technology? You have finding a weak point, but that's not really.
I mean, I could find
Uh,
its weak point, but I couldn't really.
yeah. So I think it's just gonna be a straight insight check. So because this isn't really either of your guys' specialty, but it looks pretty beat up.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. And then Kaz, you can give a shot if you'd like.
Okay. I'll do that.
Ooh.
Oh, that's
Is
actually.
is that
Is that
good?
a do we have critical successes in this system? I forget.
I thought it was only critical success if it's
Rolled
a
exactly.
skill thing. It's if whatever your total stuff is for that skill.
Oh, that's right. It has to match your thing exactly. So it's a good success.
Sure.
Um,
Is,
but it's not
is
it's not
it?
like a critical or anything. It doesn't not that it necessarily matters that much here. Um,
Yeah.
so after stepping a little bit closer and checking it out a little bit more, let's say moving the boxes a bit more, um, Gavril is pretty sure that it could still function. However, it is currently inactive and it has taken heavy damage. So it would not be as effective as it normally, you would normally expect it to be. And also like something would have to activate it and like, start it up or give it a command or something like that.
Could I find its like power cell or like means of functioning?
You, as far as you can tell, that would have to be somewhere inside. And while it is relatively beat up, the carapace is mostly intact and is very durable. It's also made out of plasteel, similar to that wall, and that's not something that your sword is necessarily meant to cut through, at least not easily. You could take some time and you could probably crack it open if you wanted to. But it would not be an effortless process. I would, you'd need some time, you'd need a few skill checks, that kind of thing.
I see. What do you think, Gavril? Should we try and disable it now, or do you think
Um.
it's not going to be a problem?
Well, maybe there's that other pile of boxes and on the north edge. Why don't
I
we
didn't
go check there?
I didn't see anything underneath there necessarily, but we can check if you want.
Oh, okay. Just I could do it if you want. No
I
harm
guess.
in checking.
Yeah,
If,
makes sense.
yeah.
All right. So Gavril approaches and he digs through the boxes. He doesn't find any other like figures or anything like that, but he does find. I need to double check what the name of it is. It's like it's some sort of tech something. I forget what the term they use is. Pure tech salvage is what it would be considered in game terms.
Okay.
So it's basically like it's really good quality like salvaged materials. Like you would know that you can usually sell a bundle of this stuff for like 20 coins if you go to one of the other layers, and I mean that's groceries for a couple weeks at least. So not a
Yeah.
bad find.
Okay. Yeah.
But otherwise, as far as you can tell, there's nothing else in those boxes.
Okay. What is it called again? I'll put that
Pure
on
tech
me.
salvage. I'll just put it on your sheet.
Okay.
So that it can be either used for mechanical stuff if you have somebody who, is able to do that, or you can, like I said, you can sell it for a not insignificant amount of cash.
Yeah. Oh, hey, I'll go back to Rain. Hey, look what I found. Do you want one?
Oh.
I can offer to give him a piece.
No, you should keep it.
Okay.
I think you deserve something for taking me to this container.
Okay, thanks.
I'm going to keep watch over the bot just in case.
Okay.
Well, there's still the room at the back. We don't know what's in there yet.
Correct. Like I said, you see four like capsules that are a little bit larger than person sized that like I said, something feels familiar about them. I mean, given this is a facility owned by Biomancer, like maybe you saw them on the ship or something, or maybe it, connects to those couple days where your head is fuzzy. You're not really sure. But something about them feels a little bit familiar. And they do all seem to still have power. Like you can see, like they're plugged into the wall essentially, and there's a little like display panel on the side of each one, but from a distance you can't really see anything that's on them.
I take one more look at the bot and then start to move towards the door.
All right. Well, the door is here.
Well, I
The
mean the hole in the
is
wall.
here. So as you get there, you see on the ground here, it's dried up and it's sort of like tacky. It's like a little bit sticky, but it doesn't actually like stick to your hand or your shoe or your sword. But it just like feels sticky to the
No.
touch kind of thing.
No, thanks.
Something that like you're not sure what it originally was, but as far as you can tell, because there's also a decent amount of it that's sort of like gummed up or caked onto the sides and like base of the capsules. It was whatever was inside the capsules originally. And it just sort of spilled out onto the ground here and probably just got left to dry, if you had to imagine. Otherwise, this capsule, the left, or let's just, if they're 1 to 4 from left to right, capsules 1, 2, and 4 are clearly already open, while capsule 3 still appears to be closed. You can see that the display terminals that have power, those, give you some. They're clearly like, command access panels. Like you can punch stuff in, and that would be how someone would like check the status of whatever's in the tank, or tell it to open or close, or anything like that. So you could potentially go and check those out to learn a little bit more.
Well, I'm going to slowly walk in, careful of the goop, and then I'm going to like touch the access panel and see what happens.
On the on this one, the one that is closed.
Yes.
Oh, okay. When you do, it lights up and it gives you a handful of commands and a picture of an individual. And it has a name, where, what would presumably be their name, but it seems to be corrupted, and it's just a binary string as far as you can tell.
I'm going to walk to the door and then the other
In
will
fact, Duck, on the
Ah.
would you like to know
Hey,
the
he doesn't
string?
know binary. Shut up. I have a plan. I already told you. Just leave it to me. He doesn't know binary. Just leave it there.
Fine. I have the string of numbers right in front of me.
Okay, you can. You can give him the string, but don't tell him what it means, because I'm saying his character
If your character
doesn't
cares
know
at all, I do
binary.
have it if he wants to read the numbers out. But otherwise, it's up to you.
Sure, go ahead.
It is going to be 01010101 space 01101101.
See, I thought you were just gonna paste it into chat.
Nope. Space 01100010 space 01110010 space 01100001.
Ah, I see.
But there are no spaces in it on the display.
Umbra, huh?
No, it's just a string of numbers.
Sorry, a string of numbers. Wow, what is this?
Anyway, you were saying something else.
Yes.
Were you gonna punch a command in, or were you gonna do something else?
I'm going to quickly walk over to the door and say, Gavril, I found something. Come over here.
Okay.
And I'm going to walk back in front of the terminal.
What is it?
It appears to be somebody inside this tank, and well, the name
you
just
can.
is a bunch of numbers.
So I guess I should say, so the tank seems to be filled with a mostly opaque bluish substance. You can vaguely see a humanoid shape inside, but you can't see any specifics. This picture is just what's on the terminal.
Well, there is an image on the terminal.
No, you are right, effectively, to tell him that you think there's a person inside. I just wanted to make sure that I realized I had not described that capsule. I had only described the empty ones.
Yeah. Is there a command to show details on the terminal?
A command to what?
Show details?
Yeah. There's there's basically, it's like a diagnostic panel, and it reports everything as being green as far as you can tell. Like everything is working properly. The individual inside is still alive and healthy. It's got proper amount of power. The biogel is still in good condition and doesn't need to be swapped out or filtered yet. Everything seems to be functioning nominally.
Does it say that the person inside's alive, or does it mention anything of that kind at all?
Yeah, like I said, it indicates that they seem to be healthy.
Okay. It appears that the person in here is alive and healthy, if this is a person. Should we let them out?
Yeah, yeah. I'm curious. Let's open it.
I'm
Let's
going to
let them out.
input the command to open the pod.
All right. So when you do so, the first thing that happens, I need you to roll a deftness check.
Whew, okay.
Okay. You do manage to step to the side as a flood of biogel comes out, and if you hadn't moved, you would have been pretty drenched. At least, like your pants would have been covered in the goop. Because it's not really a liquid. It's more of like a gel. Like it's kind of falling out in like liquidy clumps.
It's
If
utilizing
that
the
sort
bio
of
goof.
makes sense. But you managed to step out of the way and not get your pants and shoes covered with it. And then suspended by a few wires hanging in the tube, that then disengage and leave it in a standing position, is this, which I believe you all should be able to see the token.
Mm-hmm.
I can
And
see the
a
change. Oh
couple
my god.
a couple of things happen. No, I don't think I need you guys to roll insight for it, because I think it would be relatively apparent that basically, when you first look at them and like as the wires are detaching, you see that same string of numbers that was on the terminal displaying over top of their head, the same way that the names of people who used to be NPCs back
You
when this was still a game usually display. But then the ones and zeros turn into letters, and it spells out Umbra, and then the tag fades away entirely, which is something that, to your knowledge, it's not possible for like actual NPCs. So neither of you is really sure what you just saw happen or what's going on, but you think that this individual's name is probably Umbra, and that individual, played by a remaining person who has had to just sit here largely silent. Apologies for that. Um,
You good?
this is when you're basically coming to, and I guess one thing that I believe I remember the answer being no, but like, do you have really any like past memories or anything like that, or is this kind of you waking up for the first time?
Uh,
At least as far as your character would be aware right now, I guess I would say.
as of right now, no.
Okay. So you do still know like a lot of things. Like you have a lot of already pre-imparted knowledge. Like you have an understanding of the world around you, of the fact that you're a living creature. You can tell that these two here are other people, and you're able to like recognize, things like, their clothing, their weapons, that sort of stuff. But you don't really know why you know any of this, and you don't really know like, where you are or what you're doing, or who they are, or much of the things that you actually wish that you knew, as opposed to the ones that you actually do. And I need to mute for a minute because I need to deal with some stuff for the cats. So go ahead and talk amongst yourselves.
And he finally gets into the game and then you leave. I can't believe this.
I haven't left, I'm just muted.
Same thing.
I didn't even realize there was this other room at the top of the map.
Yeah, you were probably zoomed in, I assume.
Yeah, and zoomed in too far.
Surprise!
She's in the front. I'll come get her.
Well, hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, I was able to clean up entirely after my cat, and none of you has said anything. Come on.
Absolutely not. No, I wanted to ask you something else while I was waiting. I assume I'm still
Oh,
covered
okay.
in all this gel and stuff, right?
Most of it has already fallen off. Like, there's not a lot of it that's still like stuck to you or anything.
Am I still
You're
plugged
you're
into
you're
this
pretty
machine?
clean. No, though, like the wires and stuff retracted sort of as you became conscious. So you're not currently attached to anything. You're just sort of standing there.
Uh,
And the floor of the tube is like a couple feet up, so it's a bit of a step down, but it's not anything like dramatic.
uh, yeah, just gonna step down to here. Look left and right to the both of them. Are you guys looking threatening at me at all?
I am alarmed, and I have my sword in a defensive position and point towards you, but I'm not quite doing anything.
I want to say as you step down, they also probably both step back a little bit, just instinctively.
Yeah. And I'm just at in staring in awe. I've never seen a a robot half human, half robot.
Uh,
I'm just sort of silently sizing you up.
can I give myself a self-diagnostic?
Probably. Let me biomechanoid. Let's see. I feel like that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, personal analytics. You have a fucking heads-up display. Yeah, absolute. That's cool as hell. Oh, wait a minute. Biomechanoids get their own built-in UI? That's sick. That's also kind of inconvenient. It just tells you where cool shit within 50 feet is. Huh, that makes it a little bit harder to hide things. Well, sources of great energy and living creatures. I guess it doesn't necessarily find like traps or secret passages or things. That's
No.
gonna be a little inconvenient though, but I can work around it. But yeah, you do have a heads up display that you can use to query like your own condition and such. Which
Uh,
you would know how to do even if you didn't know why.
yeah. Uh, kind of just looks at her entire body. Uh, just wants to know if everything is still is functioning properly. There's no, I don't know, rust, something that might be taken out of place or something. I can obviously tell that my memory, there's something wrong with it.
Yeah, so basically your memory banks are empty, essentially, other than, like what is described as a basic knowledge package, which is presumably how you know things like how to do this and what they are and all of that stuff.
So
All of your vitals and major functions seem to be good. You're not currently suffering from any like injuries or damaged components or anything like that, other than a profound and all-consuming lack of skin.
DM, there
And
is
you would also, using this HUD, probably learn your own name, because that would be among the information that would be displayed, is that
okay.
you have the name or the designation of Umbra.
Okay. Just 1 second. There's one thing I want to check. I don't remember what this does. Oops. Nope,
Oh,
that's
I
not how
didn't
that's
make a token for your little guy for the first one that you get.
I had an idea while I was waiting for you to go through stuff with them, but just give me a second.
Wire Marlon. Hmm.
Okay. GM, does my diagnostics tell me where my shadow stone is currently, if at all? Because I would like to make
I
the
know what that means.
my shadow stone is what I chose as for a thing for I get because when it is exposed, it casts a darkness up to 20 feet. It's
Is
basically
that
what I
from your
got from.
class?
Yeah,
Or
I think it's it's an item, so it specifically came from my purview or whatever, or my background or
oh,
whatever.
from your like background thing? Okay.
I would like, if you would allow it, Mr. DM, to it be installed directly into my chest, basically it being my heart.
See, what's funny is I was gonna say, well, if you're okay with it, I think it would be cool if it's in your chest, like an Iron Man core.
Good.
And
We're thinking we're on the same wavelength. I like
I
it.
want to do that.
The heart of darkness.
Yeah, so like so I'm gonna blow the token up a bit here, but yeah, so basically that glowy cross bit on the
Yeah.
chest can open up and expose it, kind of like Optimus taking out the Allspark or whatever else you want to compare it to.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, after whatever, how long that takes to like self diagnostics to two of you.
So actually,
Yes.
as you are running your diagnostics and
Yeah.
you are very focused on that and you're kind of tuning other stuff out, um Rain and Gavril would hear boxes tumbling.
Oh.
Hmm.
And I
I want to make
go
haste. Like,
I go and peek out the door to
Well,
wonder
so
what that was.
this wall is actually semi-transparent, so you can see through it.
Okay.
And you can see that the security robot, probably not to Rain's surprise, is beginning to stand up and is knocking the last remaining boxes off of itself. It's moving in a very like jerky, stilted kind of way, but it does seem like accessing the terminal and letting this individual out of the capsule might have caused it to reactivate.
Okay.
So we're gonna have a fight. And about the time that it has like fully stood up is gonna be when Umbra finishes doing their self-diagnostics. And what would Rain and Gavril be doing at that point?
I'm just gonna like turn my head, look at it. We probably should have dealt with that. No matter. Umbra, can you fight?
Uh,
Assuming that's your name, of course.
it will. The biomechanical creature will look directly at you, but will not say anything.
I'm going to very slowly start moving around Umbra.
All right.
Does not do or anything. It's just staring at you as you walk around her.
Mamba's still in the turn order.
Gavril, looks like we're
Goodbye.
going to have to deal with this first.
All right. So we have. Oh, I should.
I assume I don't have my weapon on me, do I?
You would. Because you would be able to essentially summon it. Which, maybe your class doesn't typically do. Actually, let me check.
It
But,
does
just
not
like
do that
E3.
now.
okay, let me see. What kind of weapon do you use?
A lash
then,
weapon.
I guess? A lash? Okay, actually, as you so basically, as this is happening, you still have your UI up, and you're still able to do stuff. So you basically run a query of like, of like, do I have access to a weapon? And then you realize that there is still one cable that is attached to you, but it is coiled up in, kind of like a lasso or like a rope coil, on one side, like on one of your hips.
Okay.
And that, according to your diagnostic, that seems to be what you would typically use.
Okay.
And then I need to draw us a couple of boxes. So, oh wait, no, I need that to be in there. Okay. So, we'll say we've got one zone. Need to move that a bit. Alright, so that's one combat zone. And then up to the wall, basically. Oh, actually, I need to make that a little larger because I want them to overlap. Uh, that's a zone. And then just up here behind the wall is a zone. Oh, but that also I need to make a little bit bigger so that it overlaps. Okay, so those are going to be our combat zones. The drone will go first because it is the one that initiated combat, essentially, is the way that they put it. And it is slow, so it is only able to move within its own zone, and it does not have an attack that can hit from that range. So it takes sort of like staggering, halting steps for the first few steps, and then it kind of gets its feet underneath it a little bit more. And like, so it's got a big like baton that is grafted, or like, is just an integrated part of its right hand, and then its left is just actually a hand, and it, moves and manipulates a couple of things, and like a few pieces sort of crunch into place or snap into place, and like a few things stop sparking, so it kind of like, as it moves, it sort of sets a couple things right, and it seems to be functioning a little bit better and moving a little bit less stiffly. And then it is the party's turn, and you are able to go in whatever order you would like. You get a movement and an action, whether that be an attack or using a class feature or what have
Well,
you.
immediately, because this happens at the start of the fight, I am going to glare at the robot. He's now the target of my hatred and loses one heart.
Okay. And then let me. So this should have. Okay. You shouldn't be able to see the number, but you should be able to see if I can type the right fucking thing. All right, can you guys see a partially full red bar above it?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so it has lost 1 heart.
Okay.
I guess I'll go first, and I'll just move to this point. Like, just run through the door, and like I'll just cross through to the center of the room, point my sword towards the robot.
Okay. If you have average speed, you can move up to it in 1 move. Because so it's slow, so it can only move within its own zone. But average speed lets you move up to 1 zone away, and fast lets you move up to 2. So
Okay.
you can get up to it if you would like to.
I'll run straight to it then.
All right.
Can I make the attack on the same turn after I cross the box, or?
Yes.
Okay, I am going
Because
to.
it wasn't an action to use your glare, right? It's just a thing that happens.
Oh yeah, no. At the start of the fight, I can glare at an enemy, and they lose a heart.
Okay.
If the
Yeah.
if
So
if
then,
it,
otherwise, yeah, you used your regular movement to get up there, so you are still able to attack.
apparently if something dies to this, they either surrender or flee on the spot.
Okay. The
Uh,
glare.
yep.
Okay. Also, I should put your guys' HP on there. That would be smart of me. Ebic's squishy compared to you guys. He's only got 2 hearts while you both have 3.
You are a summoner though, so uh, so I just roll d20, yeah.
Yes, and as
Remind
opposed
me
to
how the
skill
skills.
checks, here you need to get over its AC, and you have an attack bonus of +1 from your class. I think is a master blade. Is that one +1 to attack as well, or is it like a bonus crit thing? I don't remember. Okay, here's weapons. Master weapon, yeah, +1 to your attack roll, so it's going to be a D20 +2, I believe.
Okay.
And
Got
that
it
is
with me.
not going to hit, so your blade is unable to cut through the armor on your first swing, and you don't happen to get it into any of the open spots. And God, you swear that you could swing your sword against things that are a lot sturdier than this, and it doesn't rattle your arm that much normally. You really want to get back to back to feeling your appropriate level.
I feel so much weaker than normal. Damn this.
And then Gavril and Umbra, you both are able to go.
Okay. Well, I want to use Hunter's Focus on the
Okay.
robot, the security drone,
Hunter's Focus.
and then I'll move up.
Choose a target. You gain an edge. Okay, so that's an edge is advantage, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. Edge,
Alright.
I think it's +2 advantage. I read that somewhere.
Okay, I thought that bonuses were +2 and that an edge is like you get to roll twice and take the better one, like 5e. And the word
Oh,
edge shows up a million fucking times in the book. Okay, here we go. Yeah, if you have an edge, you roll twice and use the most favorable result. Oh, and a
okay,
snag is what they call disadvantage. Yeah. So, all right, so you get to roll twice.
okay.
And let me
Oh,
see if you need to be adding anything to that, because I still don't know you guys' stuff. Okay, so you also have a +1. And then with a crossbow, I don't know if that adds anything to the shot, so let's find out. Drawn weapons, range to battlefield areas, can be loaded and fired in an action. Does extra damage on a high enough roll. Okay, so it'll just be a d20 plus 1.
Okay. And I rolled d20 twice.
Yes. So you'll roll 2, and then we'll take
Okay.
the higher and add 1 to it.
Okay.
Wow, very good
Okay.
hits. You do most certainly shoot it. The joys of having a techno crossbow, modern future technology is a lot more effective than the crossbows of yesteryear. Like what you have is closer to like the Half-Life 2 crossbow where it can just go straight through a man and pin him to a wall. And
Yeah.
that's pretty good, as it turns out, at punching through robot armor as well. As you land a bolt that goes straight into one side of its chest and just rips through the armor and gets stuck there, just sticking out of it. And
Okay.
it's still up, but it's you have certainly done it substantial damage. So then now we have one last player for the round.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you guys might just kill it before it even does anything, which, you know what, fair enough.
Not quite, because I'm just gonna have Umbra's just gonna kind of just slowly walk out of here, go and just stand here because she has just woken up, has no memory of either of these or wherever she is. So she's just gonna stand there and stare.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Then we will go back to the security drone's turn, and it is honestly more wanting to attack Gavril than Rain, because Gavril did damage to it, but Rain is the one who accessed the terminal, which is the thing that turned it on, so it probably got a, like, this person is an intruder ping as part of what activated it, so I think it's gonna swing at Rain.
Okay.
But it does basically seem to start overclocking or something, as far as you can tell. Like it its eyes glow, and you hear it like whirring a lot faster, and like there's more sparks coming out of the injured spots on it now, including where the crossbow bolt is sticking out. So like it seems, due to its damage, that it's trying to overclock itself to get rid of the intruders. So it is going to make a big ol' swing at you. And I should just type in roll 1d20 plus 4. And does that hit your AC on a 14?
Yes. My AC's 10.
Okay. Then, because it is in rampage mode, you will take 2 hearts of damage. And I think, does it have a knockback with this? No. Okay. Doesn't have a knockback or anything like that. So yeah, it basically just takes the baton and brings it straight up into your stomach, and it catches you like right in the solar plexus and totally knocks the wind out of you. And then it moves and it puts itself between between you and Gavril, and seemingly like it's attempting to block you from Umbra. And that is going to be where it ends its turn.
Well, I'm going to take another swing at the robot.
Okay.
Oof,
That will
17.
certainly hit. So yeah, it knocks the wind out of you, and then starts to, like, as far as you're concerned, it basically seems like it's walking away, like it doesn't consider you a threat anymore, and that pisses you off something fierce. So you whip, like once you get your air back in you, you whip around with your sword and drive it straight through the back of the thing, finding an opening where it had previously been damaged before, and just going straight through it, and then you sort of like yank it to the side a bit, and you feel yourself cut what you presume is a major power cable or something like that. Both given that your hands get a little bit tingly from electricity briefly as you cut it, and the thing then ceases to function and slumps down. And if you couldn't, summon and dismiss your blade at will, it probably would have gotten pinched in the joint of this thing
I
as
was
it
actually going to say that I
as
could
it
just
collapsed.
I just leave the sword inside the bot, and then the sword just disappears on
Yeah,
command.
exactly. Because like you wouldn't really be able to pull it out right now without a substantial might check. But yeah, it does seem to be rather permanently non-functional now. I think you get all your hearts back at the end of a combat, if I remember right. But
Yeah.
we're also not going to have another fight before the next time you rest, because that's going to be basically next. But yeah, so you manage to, between the two of you, you dispatch the drone, and so Umbra basically just sees the drone, walk over, slam Rain, walk towards her, and then the sword just comes through it, and it like rattles a bit and then ceases to function and just sort of like slowly crumples down onto the ground. You've been alive for 2 minutes and you've watched a robot die.
Robo murder has occurred right before your eyes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Robot
does anybody do or say anything now?
robot genocide.
Not quite
Is it
that
like
far,
face
but...
on the ground, or is it like just kind of like on like a knee, disabled, or like how is it like?
Yeah, it's in like it sort of like fell to its knees and then sort of like slumped over kind of thing. So it's kind of sitting up ish in like a slumped sit.
Umbra is just gonna walk up to it and kind of just like reach towards it.
Nothing happens. It doesn't, in any way respond or what have you.
Uh,
Ray's just going to observe Umbra from over here.
she does need some information, so she's gonna. Can she try and like interface with it somehow to try and see if she can get information about anything?
Yeah, I think that would make sense. Let me check one thing in the book though, because I need to figure out what would make more sense. Where are? It's around here. I'm just gonna go to the table of contents. There we go. Checks and contents. Aptitudes. Army. Getting attention of the crowd. Seeing through noise. I wish there was something that felt like it more clearly connected with like technology use, other than like using insight as a catch-all. Just doesn't quite feel right. Like I feel like I want to use aura, but because that feels sufficiently correct to me, because it's sort of like a robot interfacing with a robot is kind of like a talking soul to soul sort of thing.
I also would like
So
to use Aura,
I'm
but
gonna
for out
do
of character
that.
reasons.
Okay, fair enough. I'm gonna say that like doing that sort of thing where you're like connecting with like you as a piece of technology connecting with technology is an aura check. I'm gonna establish that right now because I think I like that and that's what makes the most sense to me.
Okay. Nope, I get nothing.
Okay. Well, yeah, you get a little bit, but it's mostly just like crash logs, error logs, like a list of the damage that it suffered, and like the times of when the logs were made. So like that's the only real piece of information that you get is like this thing was activated today and it was activated the last time about a week ago, and that's when it sustained, all of the damage that seems to have left it non-functional.
Uh,
That's pretty much all that you learn from interfacing with it.
she just puts her hands down to her sides and just says, uh, information not helpful.
Ah, so you can talk.
Uh,
Ray's just got to turn around and start walking towards the door.
All right.
You're going to say something?
Gabriel says, "Come on, what's your name? Umbra. Come on, let's get out of here.
why should I follow
Bef-
you?
before we're spotted, and we should. I get the feeling we shouldn't be here."
That is honestly, yeah, that's a reasonable conclusion. Like it's entirely possible that a backup security force could be coming, given the destruction of this bot. Maybe that's
Yeah.
why it was broken and hidden before rather than being fully disabled.
I will say she will not move unless you probably drag her.
Okay. If I have to, I do have a grappling hook. If that'll work.
We're just gonna make a baby carrier out of the grappling hook and rope and just hike across the rooftops with a fucking robot on your back.
Yeah.
Like I said, she's gonna stand there unless you pull her. So do what you gotta.
Can we at least say that like after being dragged along a bit and like to the exit that you at some point begin to go along willingly, if for
Yes,
no
if
other
they if
reason than
they
you have nothing else to go on?
if yeah, because she's doesn't know them, doesn't know what's happening. But if they're gonna just pick her up and just follow her, she will just follow them until she can figure out more. But yeah, if they are pulling her, she will eventually just follow them.
Let's to make things a little bit simpler, Gavril will basically say, "Hey, let's go to my house. We can rest there, figure out what's going on, see if see if we can do something to help either of the two of you." But that's
Yeah.
it's not that far to my place from here, so just come with us for now and we'll see if we can help you.
To that, she will reply with, "Understood. Need power and sustenance."
It's a good thing that Gavril has extra grocery money today.
And I just found a fridge, a full-size
Oh no,
fridge.
you've had the fridge for a while.
Okay.
It's been a point of pride for quite a bit. If you wanna come up with some stuff that you feel like you've found and have like in your place to decorate it or what have you, I'm happy to add some stuff if you want to just like let me know for next time. That could be fun.
Okay.
But yeah, so we'll say that you are convinced to go along and you go back, and so we travel over to. That's the wrong map. Uh, we travel from where we're at. It's not that far to get over to Container Town. Y'all definitely get a few weird looks. Oh, and I need to change change the name on this one. Because like most other folks probably also have not seen this, kind of like bio droid without skin kind of thing. Most people probably think that you just have ironically enough, probably think you have a skin applied that just makes you look like a cool droid thing. Like there's probably a couple people who comment to such an effect of like, "Yo, sick skin," which you would find very confusing due to your current lack of it. Um,
Yeah.
Also, I noticed one of the Can you guys see tokens off to the right side of the map here?
I can
Because
see
I
the
was testing
name.
this the other day with Duck, and you can see the name, but you can't see the token.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the name before.
What the fuck, Roll20?
It's probably because
No,
you
I
have it
can't.
set to a
Okay.
specific
That's
have it set to
silly.
a specific
Okay.
layer or something.
Well, because I was testing it with Duck the other day, and it was like, oh, cool, it doesn't show stuff that's off the map, so I can just drag tokens off the map to hide them. I don't need to put them on the GM layer. Apparently, I do though.
Yeah,
If they have
I
a
can't see the
name.
token, but I can see the name.
God damn it, Roll20.
I
That's
don't think we
really funny.
tested names yesterday.
No, we didn't, because I couldn't. Why would that be any different? The
I
name
know,
should
right?
be displaying the same way as the token. Like, what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. Oh my god. Anyway, yeah, ignore the name floating in the void.
Mm-hmm.
Gavril brings y'all back to his place so you can, sit down, probably get some rest at this point. Like I imagine, traveling around town and traversing the rooftops twice has probably taken the majority of the day for Gavril and Rain. So
Right,
they're
getting
pretty
like
much ready to rest.
slammed by a giant security bot in the solar plexus is
Oh
probably
yeah,
going to take its toll.
yeah. That's not that definitely hurt more than you feel like that should have hurt. Like this is getting really frustrating. But yeah, so you will essentially, I'll call it a night. Um, if you wish to have any like conversation or things, we can do that. Like probably next time, but I'm going to give you just a little bit of a setup, which is that the next day, and it takes a few days for you to get your skin and stuff back. Is that correct?
Let me see what it says specifically. That would be under species. Biomechanoid. Specifically. Where is the thing? Oh no, what's it under? Because it's under something
Oh, it
else.
must be under quirks. It's not
Yes, I
on
think
the.
it is a quirk thing, isn't
Okay,
it?
here we go.
It's a biomechanical
Robotic
one.
quirk. Bioskin. Uh, grow back in 3 days if food is consumed regularly. Okay. And it kind of goes in stages. So you would have a little bit more of a layer the next day to the point where like probably like all of the glowy bits are no longer exposed and probably just sort of looks like a mannequin in many ways of just like mostly flat colors in a humanoid shape, but moving a lot more smoothly and naturally than a mannequin. Um
I'm standing in the corner the entire time, just looming menacingly.
Oh, but then the next morning, relatively early in the morning, there would be a knock. Well, insofar as morning matters when you're, in the middle of a hive city. It's not you don't really get any sunlight here, like where you're at in particular. So times of day can be a little nebulous, but there's a knock on the shutter. that Gavril will, I'm going to say he will get up and answer and open it. And in
Yeah.
will walk someone who Gavril will recognize because of the fact that their hair is entirely, made out of or, composed of or replaced with wires, that they're a member of said gang. And they look at you and they say, "This is your home, correct?"
Yeah. Welcome to. Hey, Gabriel.
The boss needs to speak with you. And that'll be where we'll cut it for today. So, like I said, either like in the chat between games, or like when we boot up next time, we can do a little bit of the, like if you guys did any chatting or any specific activities or anything over, the night before or in the morning, just for the sake of getting to know each other better or anything like that. But for now, we will end it there, and in a couple weeks, y'all will apparently need to have a chat with the boss, which I will say, Gavril would already know because like the high-ranking members of both gangs on this layer are relatively well known. The leader of the Wires goes by Medusa.
Okay.
He's going to turn us to stone. With electronic snakes.
Is she a cyberpunk version of Greek the Greek goddess Medusa?
Well, you've never seen her before, so you're not sure. But it sounds like you'll probably find out,
Okay.
since you all are being called in to speak with her.